All right. Hello to everyone. Hello on Thursday, 8th of December, 2022. Very close to Christmas and New Year. Who is excited? Do you have your Christmas tree set up already in the room? Or you are about to find a tree that would be perfect for your Christmas? But today is Thursday, and as always, this webinar is going to be all about the FNT world, FNT token, what it is, how it can help us, what do we do it, and so much more. My name is Anete Martinsone, and I'm originally from Latvia, currently in Latvia, but I am enjoying the traveling around the world, because this is the company that allows us to do what we love, to accomplish our dreams and accomplish our goals. And all we need to do is to learn the information, learn everything about in and out about the project, and to understand how we can, with this information, help other people, because by helping others, we are helping ourselves. Therefore, I am here today with you guys because I love this project. I'm very passionate about it. I see a big potential, and I hope you will also understand how this project can help you or your people around you, your family, your friends, and who maybe you don't know yet. But I want to tell you that everything takes time. Don't worry if after this webinar you don't understand some information. You may need to listen once again, maybe another 3 times, maybe another 10 times. Everyone has their own time of learning and understanding new information. So is for me. So don't be harsh on yourself. There will be a moment when you will understand everything, but obviously it takes time and energy from our side as well to research more on certain things that we may not, maybe we didn't hear about before, or we don't understand, or we can ask our partners, or we can ask our sponsors, uplines, or whoever you think is confident in answering these questions. Ask questions, because by asking questions, you will get the answers. If you don't ask, you will not get the answers. All right, so what is the program for today? So we're going to cover 3 important questions. All right, and those questions are why, how, and what. Not just, we don't have to think about these questions only when we talk about project, but everything that we do in life, in our life. Ask yourself why you do it, how you're going to do it, and what is it that you're going to do to achieve your why. And for today's program, it's going to be the why FNT, when there is so many different ICOs available. So why FNT? Why we have entered this market? How we are different to those other ICOs? What makes us different? And how we are solving these issues of crypto and fiat bridging, and how we can put the liquidity into our holders' pocket. So how we are doing it, what systems and miracles we are miracles maybe not, but what systems we are using, and what mechanisms are in place to make sure the FNT is beneficial for all of us, not for 1 or 10 people in this company, but for all of us. I think that's a very good point, right? All right, so without further ado, I want to introduce today's speaker, Aidan Ward. I love to work with him because I love learning from him. He's explaining very well complicated things he's explaining in a simple way, and every time he's doing even more simple. So because everyone has their own understandings and own how to say Everyone understands different things with different examples. So I love the way Aidan is explaining these complicated things. And, I think he's one of the best persons alongside Valentin Sokolnikov, who knows about this project inside and out. And he can definitely do his miracle even today to share with us the most important things that we need to know about this project. Aidan, are you here with us?
Sure am, Annie, and thank you once again for an amazing introduction. And look, the feeling is definitely mutual. I love working with you as well, because you just always just the best welcome in for all of the audience, for myself. You manage the room, you manage the atmosphere, you set the tone, and together we're going to go and absolutely smash it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this is the first time that you've ever gone and seen me, allow me to introduce to you myself. My name is Aidan Ward. I'm a representative of the MLCI in Australia, and I'm also gone and had a history of being a financial advisor in a previous role before I stood foot into Evorich. Of course, that's just within the Australian jurisdiction, and it is general advice, so obviously no personal attach at the moment. But look, the reason why I suppose I've gone and stepped in to go and do these presentations, twice a week, really comes down and boils down to the fact that along with Valentin, I was his right-hand man and was the former project manager of Global Unit Pay. So from all the learnings that he was able to go and bestow on me, and all of the education and all of the ideas that came to fruition with the FNT, I'm here to go and share it with each and every single one of you in a really simple and easy to understand manner. Does that sound fair enough? Yeah. Let's get some fire emojis in the chat, some love hearts, some rocket ships, some bicep flexes, everything that can go and symbolize your excitement for what we're about to go and show you today. So without further ado, allow us to move on to the next slide. So whenever we're looking at a cryptocurrency, and throughout my time within GUP, we did a lot of searching for new listing clients to actually be on Global Unit Pay and to go and be on Unitex. Now, of course, we did a lot of research on white papers, both myself and the Global Unit Pay team. And one of the parameters that we really found to be super important and a really good sign and a good measure for what the token is actually going to go and be used for is actually the message from the CEO, the curator of the crypto project. And I think with Valentin doing this short paragraph, explaining the fact that the last 2 years has been just an absolute slog for everyone involved, when it was the pandemic, with the geopolitical conflict, it's kind of like that small piece of string that was holding the world together in 2019 has just gone and unraveled in 2020, and then just circumstance after circumstance after circumstance after disruption after mayhem has all gone and ensued over the last 2 years. And this has really become a sticking point, that the financial services industry has been something that has gone and adapted and improved and evolved and developed even further beyond what cryptocurrency was even, I suppose, conceptualized before 2020. There's been a huge, massive boom over the last 2 years. Put a plus in the chat if you think back to in 2019 and beforehand, that cryptocurrency is completely gone and changed in what it was till now. I'll go and wait for some interactions in there. Okay, cool. So the FNT team really has gone and come in with a lot of experience. They have 15 years collectively in banking sector, in finance sector. And of course, now we have financial technologies, or Fintech for short. So with all of that knowledge and all of that wisdom and all of that expertise that they've gone and equipped, they're the best people to go and come together to go and create not just one cryptocurrency that could go and lose or be lost in the sea of cryptocurrencies that are available for people to go and hold or invest or buy or sell or trade or what have you. They're the ones that are probably best equipped to go and ensure that our Fintech token, our FNT, is going to go and stand out in a sea of close to 22,000 other similar projects. So without further ado, let's go to the next slide, please. So when it comes to the message from the CEO, another one really important is the mission and the vision. And really the FNT, very simply, the mission is to go and connect people with fintech and blockchain together. So anyone who is 18 years of age all the way up to 118 years of age, if they want to go and have, start dabbling and start exploring digital assets, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, all of that, FNT's goal is to go and make sure that it is a safe, secure environment that is available for all and really simple to understand. We want to go and make sure that it has really ease of use and that people do go and control their digital assets. So it's really, really simple, a few quick buttons. Everyone goes and understands what each operation and function actually leads to. And most importantly, as I stated before, protecting the funds of each customer by valuing their privacy, conceptualize solutions that are available to all. Okay, makes sense, right? Our vision is simply just to go and build a bridge for people between the old traditional financial services to the new contemporary, sometimes avant-garde, very fintech systems. And by combining the two together, we aim to go and have the best of the both worlds. Next slide, please. So we know the problem, right? And let's get some pluses in the chat if you can go and, I suppose, you can sympathize and you can see where it's coming from, right? That this enormous pace of digitalization, globalization, really of the fundamentals of life have gone and created a gap between both of the financial services, the financial sectors, the ones that have been, king, excuse me, sorry, for the last few decades, compared to the new evolving, financial and digital assets, right? So by combining both of the traditional ways and the contemporary, we're going to go and make sure that there are tools and applications that are available for pretty much every sector. Next slide, please. So what the solution is that FNT understands that constantly changing need of humanity and the necessities of the digitalized and the globalized world. And that's why they are going to go and merge the traditional with the contemporary by distinguishing the best features of both and combining them to provide mankind with up-to-date, effective and borderless solutions, very much following those three key pillars of global unit pays services that we've gone and shared in the past, prioritizing security, availability, and functionality. Everything that has gone and happened within this whole ecosystem really goes and stems down to those three main goals of how we want it all to go and operate. Next slide, please. So the strategy, we're making sure that we are moving towards precise solutions to current and possible future inconveniences that could be caused by this transition from the old into the new. Modern problems require responsive and up-to-date solutions, and the pace of the digitalized daily life is far beyond the reach of traditional bureaucracy or traditional services and financial mindsets. Regional or national remedies are considered inadequate. So in a globalized world, we need to go and make sure that every solution is globally available. So we also want to go and ensure that it is easy to use and that it is accessible, quality, scale. Sorry, 1 second, guys. You guys are a little bit going full on today. All right, next slide, please. And I'm just going to go and try and sort the chat out so that I'm not getting the previews. There we go. That should be better. All right, cool. So FNT token, let's go and dive right into the pillars of service, right? Let's just go straight into the nitty gritty, the main components as to what goes and makes the ecosystem go and work and why it's so exciting. Does that sound fair enough, guys? Lovely. Okay. So the FNT token, one of the core pillars of this ecosystem is the token itself. You are able to go and get your FNT points through the back office whitelist in the Crew Ever Sent tab, which you can go and have a look at after this presentation. And of course, we'll go and share a little bit more information in regards to that in a short while. But really, this is the lifeblood of the ecosystem. Every single service, every single operation, every single feature, every single benefit will involve FNT in some capacity. And this is how we can go and actually fuel and continue and push on and stimulate the whole entire ecosystem of FNT world between Global Unipay and FNT. So that will go and extend to the loan to value system, the interest rates that will go and come, more on that later, and every other financial process that we do go and hold at our fingertips. Next slide, please. Of course, this is all in the way so that we can go and create a thriving environment that is going to go and allow for financial freedom and financial independence to be available to more than not of in terms of number of our holders and those people who are participating in the FNT program. So let's start off with one of the key components, which is asset management. All right. We went and talked about a little bit before moving the old traditional financial world in with the new, right? And we did go and say that, you know, it would be a perfect opportunity to go and get the best of both worlds. And I can't see any other, I suppose, component that goes and best suits the whole merger of the two financial worlds than the asset management. The fact that we are moving into pension funds, into financial institutions, sovereign wealth funds, intermediaries, and other clients, and bringing them into the mix. This will allow us to go and include thematic equities, alternative investment options, private assets, hedge funds, emerging markets, and of course, multi-assets. So really putting pretty much anything to do with your portfolio in terms of building your financial wealth. You know, not just within liquidity, but also, you know, in terms of your assets, to go and have that thriving environment that you will have access to those sort of, I suppose, financial instruments would be the best word for it. Next slide, please. So the tokenomics, this is probably another key component of when you're wanting to go and look and see, you know, how a token could actually go and perform. And we've put it down to a few short points. You may or may not have gone and actually seen this slide before. I would assume that you guys have, when it was during Eventi, during any of the presentations that Valentin and Alex have gone and done in the past. And of course, if you were on last week's webinar as well. So the number one thing that we want to go and look for, and I'm only saying this because, you know, it's our community here today, is that the total supply is a lot smaller compared to a lot of the other tokens that we've been bringing through the ecosystem. You know, of course, with EVSN, with Crew, with World Crew, with UNTB, you know, there's a lot of total supply of all of these digital assets. Now, there's probably a good argument to go and say that different digital asset projects probably require different sort of supply amounts. And with the FNT, because of the way that it goes and operates and the way that it goes and circulates, you know, to go and have a smaller supply will actually go and combine both the exclusivity that goes and comes from there being a smaller supply, kind of like how Bitcoin only has 21 million, but also having enough to go and ensure that the stimulation through the tokenomics is actually going to go and be sustainable. It's going to last not just a few years. It can actually go and survive and thrive for decades if everything goes and works out well, which with the combined minds who have put this all together, I'm very confident that they've gone and taken into account every possibility. Now, when we're looking at this pie chart, there's probably a few key components that we want to go and address first, right? Now, with that 2 billion, 40% of that 2 billion you will never see, you will never have access to it. It will never go and exist on the public market. And you might go and ask, Aidan, why is that? Well, very, very simply, in order for us to go and ensure that we are able to offer these financial services and these benefits through the FNT world ecosystem, we need to go and make sure that we do go and have the liquidity and the reserve and the treasury in order to go and fund the services, especially when we're talking about the loan to value cash system, and we're looking at interest and staking rewards. There needs to go and be a treasury that can actually go and provide the benefits in the first place. So really what we're looking at in terms of how much is actually available, we're looking at a circulating supply at max of 1.2 billion. That's amazing, because it dials in on that exclusivity while also keeping up a solid amount that more people can actually go and get access to. The second part of the pie chart that I want to go and show each and every single one of you is the pre-sale, the 20.3%. Who can tell me? Well, let's go and get some love hearts in the chat, guys. If you can go and tell me what that 20.3% goes and represents. Can anyone tell me what the 20.3% goes and represents? No? Okay. Well, very simply, guys, and I'm very, very glad to go and actually tell each and every single one of you, is that the pre-sale actually goes and represents us, our Evorich community. As you can see, when you take away the reserve, it's actually, we get the biggest cut of the pie. We get the biggest amount that is allocated for the whitelist pre-sale. Guys, this is fantastic. Put a plus in the chat, or put a love heart or a fire emoji if you guys can go in and really appreciate just the fact that we continually go and get access to the most amount of opportunities within the projects within our ecosystem. I'm still blown away that we still go and have access to it when we have the external global market who are knocking on our door at all given times of day, trying to go and get access to what we're trying to do. That's amazing. Number two that we want to go and mention as well is that the community is in charge when it comes to the tokenomics. There's going to be only one platform for your daily financial needs, for your daily payment needs. There's going to be a sustainable burning mechanism, which I'll talk about in great depth in not too long. But there's going to go and be that utilization in every single way that we're actually utilizing the utility coin that is FNT. Say that 5 times fast. Next slide, please. So this is basically what the ecosystem goes and looks like. And we're going to use the FNT as the central focus, as the lifeblood, to go and be able to administer all of the benefits that go and come through. So with your FNT, it's going to be used for the crypto debit cards, and you'll receive benefits through that. You will go and be using FNT for the loan to value cash system, which I think is the next slide. More on that in a sec. And of course, you'll be using the FNTs for the portfolio management and the burning mechanism as well. So everything that is happening within the FNT world, I suppose, ecosystem is that it all goes back to having those tokens in the first place. And of course, the bigger the supply, the bigger the benefit in the long run. Next slide, please. Okay, so the loan to value cash system. Now, there have been some people who have turned around and said, I don't ever want to go and do a loan, and more power to you. That is your financial plan. Amazing. You've done the education that has been available ever since you walked into Evorich. And if that's what goes and makes you comfortable, fantastic. Nobody is pressuring you in order to go and do so. But for those people who do want to go and access some liquidity, because in some cases, as we've seen in the last 2 years, life happens, sometimes very unexpectedly, and it can go and catch you off guard. And the last thing that you want to go and have when you're stressed out is a lack of liquidity in order to go and solve the problem that you've now been faced with. Whether that requires an emergency flight to another country if you're living abroad, whether that comes from needing to go and make an extra an immediate payment on your rent because you haven't yet gone and because you've gone and just lost track of it. Sometimes these sort of things happen, and to go and know that there are liquidity options available that you'll be able to go and pay gradually and with not a high amount of high amount of interest, that goes and makes it a feasible option for peace of mind. And I think that that's the main benefit that goes and comes with the loan to value cash system, is that for the longest time, a lot of people have been struggling with liquidity. So there is going to go and be an opportunity for some people to actually go and apply for a little bit of a relief. And of course, when it comes to the loan to value cash system, you'll be able to go and pay via fiat assets, via crypto assets, whichever you like, but in some percent, depending on a number of factors that have not yet been released, you will need to go and exhaust a little bit of the FNTs. Does that make sense, guys? Let's get a flood of the heart emojis if you understand that slide. Yeah, they're coming through now. Awesome. All right, cool. Next slide, please. Now, the FNT memberships. Before I move any further, can anybody remember the call to action I went and gave surrounding any time that someone goes and mentions the black card? Can anyone remember what you're supposed to go and say? Close, Senorina, very close. It was, ooh, right? We want to go and get that trending. Why is that? Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So the reason behind that is that it's very much going to go and be like the Rolex of cards. All right. Yes, Josephine knows exactly what's up. I was on the partners Q&A with the USA community on Monday, and they absolutely loved it. Right. So the whole thing with the black membership and the black card is that it's going to be like a Rolex. And for those people who have gone and seen this sort of presentation before, heard me go and talk about it, the reason why I go and say that is that the black card will only be reserved for invitations. Invitation only. You can't go and get access to that unless invited. It's the same way that a Rolex goes and works. People can't just walk in to go and buy a Rolex. They have to go and receive an invitation in order to go and buy it. Sound pretty cool, right? It's amazing to go and have a payment card that is basically a membership that is only going to go and be reserved for the highest of the highs and the most valued of the most valued and the most high status of the most high status within the globe, whoever's using the FNT world. So the other memberships will basically go and function very similar to how the card concept came to be within Global Unit Pay, having your basic, having your silver, having your gold, having your platinum. This is all going to be determined based on the amount, based on the percent of the FNTs that you go and hold within the total portfolio within FNT world. So let's say, for example, if you have 10,000 FNTs on your platform, then if you were to go and hold, say, 12%, that might go and qualify you for the platinum membership. Make sense? Next slide, please. Sorry, moderators, can you please just pause the recording for a second? Guys, I think I might have, yes, not feeling too crash hot. Okay, yes, so where were we? I think we need to go a couple slides back behind. Moderator, okay, cool, yes. So as I was saying, just to go and touch on before the next slide, okay, so the memberships from basic through to platinum will be based upon the percentage of FNTs that you go and hold within the portfolio. And the one that was discussed, the only one that I've received any real discussion on as an example was the platinum, which was around about the 12%. If that is correct, it hasn't yet been finalized, but if that is correct, then the gold memberships, the silver memberships, and the basic memberships will actually go and flow on in terms of a smaller percentage requirement in order to go and qualify for those memberships. Basically, what the benefit is for each is that the higher the tier, the higher the contribution to the token, the rewards, the discounts, the perks. Basically, you want to go and make sure, if you are 100% in for the FNT, make sure that you guys are, doing your best to go and qualify for the highest membership so that you can go and get the highest amount of benefit. Make sense? Amazing. All right. Now the next slide, probably one of my favorite slides, in fact. The burn buyback, the BBB. I absolutely love this feature of the tokenomics. I cannot stress, and each of you probably went and felt the same as well when you saw that all of your hard work that was done between 2019 and 2020, only for it to go and launch onto the exchange and then plummet and plummet and plummet. Not because people don't love the project, but because the amount of pressure that was applied downwards in terms of sell orders, it unfortunately drove the value of the tokens that I'm talking about, and you might have even gone and seen it outside of our community, far below what they're actually each worth. We are co-owners. We've went and built those sort of projects, and it is nothing as disheartening as seeing something that you've gone and built just go and start falling around you. And I can tell you that on a personal level, it's not ideal, which is where the burn buyback goes and comes in. So let's say, for example, someone was to go and sell, say, 10,000 FNTs, right, on an exchange. They've gone and amassed a huge portfolio in the whitelist opportunity, but they're selling, 10,000 FNTs. Rather than it just getting left at the exchange and then cashing out, FNT World goes and sneaks around the back door, goes and buys those FNTs again from the exchange, and then goes and burns up to 50% of them. You're probably thinking, why would you do that? It's very simple. Because we're still maintaining that market cap. We're still maintaining the value of the entirety of the supply compared to each and every single one of the tokens' value. So that's usually how you can go and tell what a market cap is based on the amount that's in supply times that by the value, and that goes and gives you your market cap. So what happens is that when we go and burn 50% or up to 50% of whatever's being sold, we are dropping the amount of supply, but still maintaining the market cap, which for anyone who's gone and heard me talk about this, just this one part of the FNT ecosystem will know that actually goes and pushes up the value of each token ever so slightly. Now, the burn buyback isn't just for the exchange sells. This happens for when someone goes and uses it to go and buy a card. This is what happens when people go and stake. This is when people are trying to go and earn interest. This is when people are trying to exchange it for another currency. Every single time that FNT is used, a little bit goes and gets burnt, and a little bit goes and increases the value of each FNT as time goes on. Sound pretty cool? Of course it does. It's a rhetorical question. Let's move on to the next slide, please. All right. So one portfolio management platform to rule them all. I can tell that Alex Vermisha is definitely a Lord of the Rings fan. One ring to rule them all, one portfolio management platform to rule them all. Let me know if this goes and applies to you. You have a banking app. You have your global UnitPay app. You might go and have one for, say, stake. You might have one for Binance. You might go and have one for another exchange or another platform. But already, just from those key examples, You've got 6 platforms. How problematic is that, and how inefficient is that for each of you to have to go through so many different platforms for different financial services? Yeah, well, let's go and get some thumbs up in the reactions, guys, if this goes and applies to you, that you just pulling your hair out at how inefficient it is. Perfect, amazing. All right, so what FNT World basically prioritizes is that even your portfolio manager is going to be in the one platform on top of everything else that you've gone and seen so far. You'll be able to exchange your digital assets. You'll be able to borrow and lend digital assets within the community, and you can earn interest and staking all from the one platform. No more multi-logins or minimal multi-logins. We're trying to reduce that number from 6 down to at least 3, maybe 5, depends on how convoluted your financial plan is. Yeah, that's more like it. I love that. So the FNT portfolio management removes all types of limitations and unites all of your portfolio requirements into the one space. Next slide, please. So let's go and recap, all right? In the last few slides, we've gone and covered really the main key components of what goes and makes the FNT World ecosystem so exciting, so vibrant, so fresh, and so innovative. I'm super, super excited for the FNT. It's probably been the most trending 3 letters within our community ever since the whitelist was first announced on the 28th of July. It's been amazing. So let's go and recap. You've got the FNT native token that is exchangeable, it is sellable, it is buyable. You are able to go and treat it like a regular utility token. You will have the own banking link up in terms of opportunity with Global Unit Pay, right? Because these guys are a brother and sister company, you know? They might be separate, but they're tethered together. And everything that goes and happens within Global Unit Pay will, of course, be extended through to FNT as well. You'll have lending and borrowing opportunities available for you if you so feel comfortable to go and do so. If that goes and meets your financial plan, then great, amazing. You have that ability. You'll be able to go and monetize your assets by earning and staking rather than, you know, having to go and rely on the market to go and increase the value constantly. You will have applied uses that will go and monetize whatever portfolio you amass from now until the launch. And of course, it's not just because I'm usually the man who always, you know, issues out fire emojis for everyone, but the burn buyback feature as well. So this goes and creates the whole ecosystem. This is predominantly what you need to go and understand in order to know that this is the right thing for you. You'll know how it goes and works, and you'll be able to go and share this opportunity. You'll be able to share, you know, with your downline, with new people coming in to go and build their MLCI business about this opportunity just from these 5 key components. Sounds pretty easy, right? Amazing. All right, next slide, please. So really all that we have to go and really say about FNT is that it's the best example of what mutualism is. It never will cease to go and benefit its users with every single process that goes and involves the FNT token. And like I went and said earlier, every single process will involve the FNT token in some capacity. Our members will be able to increase the value of the token with every single purchase that they make via the debit cards, via the crypto transactions, and every single reward that they go and receive through the memberships. In effect, if you hold, you win. If you use, you win. If you spend or you sell, you win. But most importantly, you win to win. Who's ready to go and win with everyone who's already got FNT so far? Yes, amazing, excitement. Guys, this is a successful project of ours. We've gone and cracked it. This is why the FNT utility token is so exciting, because it benefits everyone to go and come through, and not just the whales. That's very exciting for me. Love that. Next slide, please. All right, so I would like to go and welcome Anete back on, and we can go and do this part together because this involves each and every single one of you. This is how we can go and, you know, show our appreciation and get you guys excited that, you know, we are so close to getting this one done and dusted within the community. Are you excited, Anete?
Of course, I'm excited because you know, this is one of once in a lifetime opportunity. You know, we always say once in a lifetime opportunity, but this opportunity is about to end. As we may follow the news, the whitelist will be closed probably in a month and a half, maximum, what, 2 months time, if we are lucky. and that's it. This opportunity will be gone for us. So I think we need to shake up, pick up our phones and share the information to as many people as we can while we have time, because soon we will enter the next level, the next development stage, and it's very exciting. From one side, it's very exciting because we are moving forward. From the other hand, it's like, oh, I need more time. But we have this time. We had this time. So let's use the time we still have to share with everyone, you know, what we have to offer. Right?
Well, I mean, there was definitely an announcement that will go and put everyone at ease, because I can guarantee you there's a few people in the chat right now or who are watching on Facebook that are thinking, how am I going to go and get 8,000 units into my back office within a month or two? That's impossible. And you're probably right. 8,000 units might be a little bit difficult, but hear me out. Who went and saw the announcement that came through about global unit pay, global unit pay and FNT actually leveling up, and what opportunity is in store for the next 2 weeks, or coming available and live in the back office in the next 2 weeks? That's right. After 4 months, guys, we're finally getting installment packages. Finally, we're getting installment packages. Everything else has got installment packages. FNT didn't. Riddle me that. I don't understand it. But I want to go and crunch some numbers with each and every single one of you, because this is really our way, like I said, to go and show appreciation and thank you to each of our community members who have gone and dug deep and who have gone and, you know, invested to go and build their own FNT portfolio. I was doing a little bit of maths on the back office today. I know, scary thought. And ever since that we have actually gone and done these presentations, ever since Tuesday last week, we have gone and had throughout our community $29,380 bought just of FNTs. This is a great start, guys. This is amazing. From little things, big things grow. And, you know, it really goes and blew my mind that we have been able to go and have so much action so far. Now, to give you an idea, so far we have gone, or should we go and say how many units are left in order to go and fully exhaust those packages, or should we go and tell everyone how much we've been able to have invested so far? What should be first? What do you reckon?
How much is invested?
How much is invested so far? Or how much is left?
How much is invested so far?
Okay. All right, let's go into the chat for this one. Put down a number between, of course, 1 unit and 5,048,000 units. One number between 1 and 5,048,000. I want to go and see who gets the closest. Because 5,048,000 is how much was originally available. Annie says 3 million. Okay. Marlene says 2 million. Josie says 2,500,000, 1.750. Well, out of all of those, who said 200 and Who said 2.5 million? Who said 2.5 million? No. Sorry, Valdar. No, not AIM. Sorry. 2.5 mil. No, it was 2,751,000 units, guys. That's how much we've been able to go and have crowd invested so far. So that means the fintech license is inevitable. Yeah. How exciting is that? 2.751 mil.
I actually was very close. I was close. I said 3
You
million.
were very close. You did. So what does that mean, guys? That means that we have 2,267,000 units left of FNT packages. And if we can go and do 2.751 within the space of 4 months without installation packages in, we can go and do the 2.2 million. Who's with me?
Definitely.
Who's with me, guys? Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that goes and wraps my time up for today. I'm going to go and hand over to the queen of MLCI herself, Anete Martinsone. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I'll be back with the Q&A in a short while.
Yeah, you don't go too far. So we have heard the basic information about the FNT, what it's going to do for us, for our community, for the company. And now we need to understand what are the next steps that we need to do. Let's go to the next slide, please. So the next steps is, if you are the new person here who heard this information for the first time, then definitely go back and do your due diligence about the project. The links have been shared for the Global Unit Pay and for the FNT. But if you type in Google search, it will come up in the first page, at the top of the list. You will find the information or the links for this project. So do your due diligence. Go back to the person who invited you to this webinar, who shared with you this information. If you want, ask questions now in the chat box. So Aidan can give you the answers straight away, and you don't have to go and look for them. Then decide which package you would like to buy, and do it with your own financial knowledge. The best thing is if you learn 8 roles of the private investor, and learn how much you should put aside and how much you should be investing in certain assets per month. But yeah, you decide. You don't ask random people which is the best to go for. Only you know which package is the best for you, with which package you would be more comfortable to go for. All right. And then attend all the business trainings available in our Evorich marketplace, and learn how you can create multiple income streams. All right. And share this opportunity then further to your partners, to your friends and families, to whoever is into blockchain, crypto, DeFi, Fintech, FNTs, NFTs, and so on. Those people would have an interest to know more about this kind of project. So just look for these people and give them the information. And if they love to hear more about it, then you know what you need to do. Direct them to this particular webinar on Thursdays, which we are doing every Thursday at 3 p.m. Moscow time. Or there is another webinar on Tuesday, which is kind of half about the Global Unit Pay and half about the FNT. All right, but we're doing FNT webinar separately because there is so much more to explain. So we can't do it in one webinar. All right. So whatever we do it for you guys. Whatever we do so you get the best, you get the most, the clear information and the quickest answers. And then there's a bonus. Obviously, you can get access to the marketplace of Evorich and start building the business from the scratch if that's what you want to do. This is totally up to you. You don't have to. You can just participate as a client, get your FNTs by adding to your portfolio, and then just watch. or you can share with the other people, and you can get, as I said, access to different trainings for the global unit pay, for the FNTs, and in the future, probably from next year, we will also do some trainings if there will be such a need. But that's it, guys. These are the simple few steps that you need to take, and invite people to these webinars so more and more people can find out what we have to offer. This is it from our side, and now there is a Q&A session. Do we have any questions? Oh no, the questions are answered already in the chatbot now, but in the chat box. But maybe you can read out Harish questions out loud and give the answers. So maybe someone else has the same question.
Of course. So Harish was asking whether the FNT cards will compete with the global unit pay cards. They're not going to go and be the same cards. So what I would imagine, knowing how things go and work within global unit pay, is that the FNT will either go and be, like the FNT cards will either go and be a white label card issuing client with global unit pay. So they'll go and provide the cards in the FNT branding, or they'll go and use the same card factory that global unit pay has now gone to basically gone ahead with, to go and have the service agreement with. And that probably leads on to the next question that Sentinel goes and has, which is that, can I go and rebuy the card? You will need to rebuy the card depending on where you are in the world. So if you're in the European Union, you need to go and get a new card. For anyone who's outside of the European Union, we can't go and get the new cards because the old cards have to go and be shut down entirely and then basically started from scratch. Unfortunately, this is a regulation issue and there's no real way around it yet. What Valentin was saying last week is that it opens the doors for global unit pay and FNTs to actually go and have, well, no, not so much FNT actually, but more global unit pay will be able to go and get different card factories around the world that will be able to go and facilitate the card issuing requirements of our user base. So it's a little bit of an L at the moment, but global unit pay still goes and works perfectly fine, just perfectly fine. Just we can't go and use the cards unless we're in the EU. So don't go and give up on GUP. We go and find some solutions for the interim, and then when they can go and actually bring in the necessary card factories for different jurisdictions, then we'll be able to go and re-enter the card, I suppose, the card program. So, yes, and power to the people, Australia, smashing it as always, providing the full list of countries that go and have access to the new cards. So once again, apologies for the inconveniences, but this was just something that could not yet go and be avoided. Oh, sorry, Annie, it's you.
No, I have posted the countries which has no issues which wouldn't have any issues to order these cards. But guys, here it comes, the opportunity for you to step in and provide some solutions for us, for you, for your country. If your country is not on the list, then you are one of the best person who could go and do some research and see with what kind of financial institutions we could work, organizations we could work within your country together with the global unit pay. Obviously, I'm not from the legal department. I don't know how it's set up, but I'm sure that there is some ways how you can help us, right? I think so, Aidan, right?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much sorted out the Australian jurisdiction this week. All I did was just go and look at payment systems, and then in my country, which is Australia, and then went and said, white label card issuing, and then it came up with a list of companies, and then just doing my research and finding out what sort of products they go and have available. And when the time goes and comes, and probably after the new year, I'll go and introduce that company with Valentin and see if he can go and have a partnership with that company so that Australia can go and re-enter the card program. That's how easy it is, guys. You just have to take that little bit of extra initiative.
So everything is in your hands, guys. If you want to help yourself, if you have people who will be using the card, not just buying the card, because every time someone buys the card, they're not using it, the company is still paying for it. All right. So it's important that we have people who use the card in the country to be, I guess, beneficial and financially, how to say, what's the word, financially good for
Secure.
So it's not, so the company doesn't pay for the card that is not used, you know, then it goes into minuses as well for the company. It's an extra expense, let's say this way. So yeah, everything is in your hands, guys. If you don't see the country on your list, then step up and help. Any more questions?
Harish has got quick fire successive questions. Why do we need both cards? They're different platforms, mate. So FNT is separate to Global Unit Pay, but they're tied together, if that makes sense. So like whenever a client goes and asks for a white label card issuing from Global Unit Pay to go and have their own branding with the cards, and this is just one option, one hypothetical. I'm not quite sure what the intended plan is for FNT cards just yet. But out of the two options, one being FNT uses the same card factory, but as a different client to the card factory, or whether they go and use Global Unit Pay cards, but white label card issuing, then yeah, that's the reason why you need both cards, is because they're separate together. Similar to Unitex funds, don't always necessarily reflect to Global Unit Pay, even though you might go and have, say, 200 USD on Unitex, that's not going to go and show up on Global Unit Pay as a byproduct. So you have to treat them as separate entities, but they're all part of an ecosystem. Recently, GUP cancelled all cards, virtual and physical. So what about the charges people paid? Will they refund? You're probably best to go and send an email to or a message to support on that. Both Anete and I aren't working within Global Unit Pay, so we don't go and get told what that sort of, what the next steps are, unfortunately. So I would go and issue out a support ticket in your Global Unit Pay account so that they can go and provide you with the right information rather than us just giving you speculative, possibilities. Virtual GUP card got hacked and GUP could not do anything. Yeah, similarly, and please understand, guys, that FNT, we don't have all the information just yet. Alex and Valentin still don't have all the information just yet. The information that we're providing to you right now is fully up to date per the white paper. And when the new updates are made to the white paper, we'll be able to go and give you guys out each of the following updates that go and follow. So we ask that you guys be patient. If you are still building your FNT portfolio, then fantastic. If you're after answers, then there are going to be some questions from now until the launch where, we're going to have our hands tied behind our backs because we're not Valentin and we're not Alex. But we'll do our very best to go and find out the solutions for you guys, and even perhaps some information that can be released before it is released to the public. So with that being said, I think that goes in as...
I just want to add something regarding the waiting time. Someone says that it's a long waiting time for the World Crew token. I don't know, guys, how many other investments you've done in your life, but apart from this company's opportunities and World Crew investment, I have done other investments as well. And with the current situation in the world, and I'm sure a lot of investors, professional investors, will tell you the same thing. If you don't have a balanced portfolio, that everything goes down. If you look at the market, things like a shares market goes down, crypto market goes down, it's crashing. Everything is crashing. Companies are closing down. Big organizations are closing down. And a lot of other investments that I've done, I've been waiting for as well, 2, 3, 4 years, and they all were promising, and they are still promising, but it takes time. And we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or in a month's time. We cannot predict that when we start our business. Even like try to build up your business, try to draw up the business plan and see how it goes. So many things will change on the way. So we need to understand that the investment, a proper legal investment, is not like you're buying today and becoming a millionaire tomorrow. This is a long-term investment. And in order for you to earn the benefits, you shouldn't be waiting on only that one investment when it goes, when it's going to skyrocket. You need to have an investment portfolio that is global portfolio with a different type of investment instruments which gives your portfolio to be balanced. If something goes up, something goes down. If something brings the money, something will bring you in a year's the money. So if you have only one investment and you're expecting tomorrow for it to kind of skyrocket, if you put the money today, then I would really recommend for you to go and look at the Academy of Private Investor courses. Start with the 8 rules of private investor, and then decide to go and learn the other investment courses that are available in the Academy of Private Investor back office, and study, these little important things that we need to understand when it comes to investment. All right. Also, the FNT, it's a great project. It has a potential, but it takes time, and it's not only, how to say, it doesn't. It requires a lot of things to be put in place. Also, the money, the finances. Without the finances, it's almost impossible to do the things. And if you don't have finances coming in, then it will take time. It doesn't mean that it will never happen, but it will take time to happen. So everything is in our own hands to make it happen fast. As Arman says, we will do it with or without our community, but with you guys, we would do it much faster.
And if I can just go and elaborate on that as well, Senthil, there is a roadmap on the white paper for the FNT world. If someone would be so kind to go and put the FNT white paper link in there for everyone to go and actually click onto. If you go right down to the very bottom, you'll actually go and see what their roadmap is. And of course, as Anete said, the faster that we can go and exhaust the whitelist gives them more resources in order to go and get things done a lot faster. And Harish, last week, Valentin did go and say, thank you, Janice. Valentin did go and say that the FNT would likely go and be the one that goes and has a direct link. The issue with Global Unit Pay not having the direct link actually comes down to a tax clause. So with that, I hope that goes and clears up a lot of information and a lot of doubts and a lot of queries surrounding the FNT. Of course, there's going to be more information that goes and comes through, and we are getting to the pointy end of the year. Let's go and rather than look at the things that we haven't yet been told, bask in the fact that as a community, we've been able to go and raise $2.751 million in the space of 4 months. And that gives a lot of hope and a lot of faith that MLCI still is king. And with that, I would like to go and issue you all a happy and safe weekend. We're going to go and wrap up today's meeting here, and we'll see you all on Tuesday. We may even go and have a special guest as well, someone that you may or may not have gone and seen before.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Perfect. I love to be here with you guys. I love the conversation, interaction with you. Thank you for being here. Remember, share, invite, and let's build this business globally. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Take care.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.